Hello everyone and welcome to the IP School. In this video series, we'll learn about network automation through Python. We'll basically use Paramiko for logging into the device and executing show and configuration commands. So, what's Paramiko? As per paramiko.org, Paramiko is a Python implementation of SSH version 2 protocol, providing both client and server functionality. So we'll basically use the SSH client functionality to access a router and execute commands. First of all, let me show you my setup. I have GNS3 configured, a router is running on it, and it's connected to the loopback of my PC. The IP of the loopback is 1.1.1.1 and IP on the router is 1.1.1.2. Let's have a look at the router console. So you can see the interface fast Ethernet 0/0 is configured with an IP address of 1.1.1.2. We'll try to connect to this IP through Paramiko and we'll try to execute certain configuration commands. So let's begin. First of all, what I need to do is to import Paramiko, right? After I've imported Paramiko, I need to create a client SSH client object. .ssh client. Once the SSH client object is created, we can use this object to connect to the router. So let us try that right now. ssh.connect, and you have to provide a host name. I'll provide an IP address for the router. It's 1.1.1.2. The port would be 22. That's the default port for SSH. Username is IP school and password is Python. Okay, so let me do one thing. Let me just try to connect to the device and let's see what happens. Okay, so I got an error. It's basically an SSH exception which says that server 1.1.1.2 is not found in known hosts. Now what does this mean? So basically, if you look at the line here, we find that missing host key. So any host you try to connect to using SSH, the host keys are basically in a file known as the known hosts file, right? If a host key is missing from that known hosts file, it's essentially an unknown host, right? So you may not want to trust a host. So the default action that Paramiko has, it basically rejects the keys that are not found in the known hosts file. Now there are basically two policies. One is the Paramiko reject policy and the Paramiko auto add policy. Now reject policy is the default one. It rejects any connections that don't have the host keys in the known host file. The auto accept policy is automatically accepting all host keys and adding them to the known host file. If you want to do something else apart from those two functions, you basically have to write your own policy class. So now let us try to do that, right? We won't write the policy class, we'll just use the auto add policy. So ssh dot set missing host key policy has to be Paramiko auto add policy. All right. Now the missing host keys will be automatically added. So we have overridden the default behavior, which was reject. Now let us once again try to connect to this host. Okay, you can see that our connection has succeeded. Let us go to the router console and verify. Alright, so we can see that our user is IP school and we are accessing from 1.1.1.1, right? Now, let me try to execute a command. So before executing a command, let me tell you something about the standard streams. The stdin, stdout, and stderr, right? So stdin is the standard input. Any data that goes into a program is through stdin. stdout is used by the program to send data, and stderr is basically used is standard error, right? It's basically used by the program to write any error messages, right? So basically we'll have to connect this, right? Ssh dot execute command will do a show IP interface brief. Okay, now we have executed this command. Let me try to, pull the data. So as I was saying earlier, stdin used to send the command to the program. Stdout will actually receive the output. So we have to read the output from stdout. I can also store this, store the output to a variable stdout dot read lines. Fine, and you can see the type of this variable output would be list. Now if we have to print, we can see the output, right? So in this way, you can execute any command, be it a configuration command, a show command. You can pretty much do anything, right? So if you have to apply a piece of configuration to more than one device, you can have that device in a file. You can read the host names from the file. You can open connections to those host names. You can set the missing host key policy to the Paramiko auto add policy, so you don't have to worry about those SSH exceptions that are raised if a host is not found in the known hosts file. So this way you can pretty much execute any command and configure a device. So this serves the basics of getting output from a device. You can pretty much do anything after that. You may want to automate a maintenance or automate deployments. You can pretty much do that. So this serves the basis of automation in Python. We will learn about a different things, a lot, some advanced scenarios through Paramiko in different video tutorials. So I hope you like this video. If you liked it, you can press the like button. You can subscribe to my channel. Thank you so much for watching.